Hello everybody, this is Steve's Tech Bargain Reviews, and today I am going to be bringing you the JVC GZ-HM300 series of camcorders, which is a JVC's entry level to mid-level camcorder range. It shoots in 1020 and 1920 by 1080p. Full time. It's actually a 1440 by 1080 4:3 aspect ratio footage that's then interpolated into 1920 by 1080, but that's pretty much standard for most cameras in the range, and you won't tell any difference between this and native 1920 by 1080 footage, believe me. I'm currently shooting this on a Canon HG10, which was the top-of-line Canon from 2 years ago, and I've yet to see a camera that really in the consumer, even prosumer line, that can really top the Canon. So I don't look down on the JVC for doing anything less than for doing a little less than native 1920 1080. I don't think it really makes a whole lot of difference in the end result of your video. Now, the reason I am talking to you today about this camera is because it's cheap. This camera, when it debuted last year around this time, was listed for $400, and right now you can find it new for around $200 on Amazon. Places like PC Richards also has it for a little bit less. However, I'm going to always try to find even a better deal out there, and in this case I did. I got a JVC refurbished camera from Newegg for $125, which puts it comfortably at the bottom of the camcorder price spectrum, and this thing simply toasts everything that's anything that you could find under $200. All the flips, the Sony Bloggies, the Kodak Play Sports, they have their purpose and they're great cameras, don't get me wrong, but they really just don't hold a candle to a $400 high definition camera that is designed to shoot high definition all the time and do it at a level that will satisfy somebody who's going to be dropping 4 large bills on it. So let's talk about the camera. This is small. It's always hard in these videos to get an idea of what's big and what's small. I mean, I have pretty small hands, so let me just give you some perspective. Here's a fork. Put a fork next to the camera, and you will see that this damn thing is small. I have a pocket camera here, also a Nikon Coolpix. This is a really small camera, and I put it next to the JVC, and you know what? JVC is a little bit thicker, but it's not much bigger. So I've held it next to a flip, and I think the flip's a little bit thinner, but size-wise, about the same. So you can definitely stick this in a pocket. You might get a little bit of a bulge, but hey, if you're a guy, that's not a problem, right? I mean, well, maybe I should just speak for myself, but anyway, this is a great little camera for the money. Now, is it as good as a Canon high-end? No. I mean, it's just not, but is it as good as a Sony CX150 or a Canon entry-level Vixia R series? I think you can say that it probably is. I mean, I've seen the footage from those. I've handled them. I think the pros and cons to each camera. But once you throw in a $125 price to $200 price range, this is the no-brainer. So the camera's small. It's pretty comfortable to hold. I'm not a big fan of the strap that JVC gives you. It's a little small. I'm not 100% confident in it. So what did I do? I went out, and for $4 I picked up a wrist leash, which I use on all my camcorders. Little extra insurance. If I slip, I've got a real backup that I can count on to save me from a fall. I also like that the camera has an open back, which allows me to put on, it comes with a 1400 milliamp battery, but I can upgrade it to a 3000 milliamp battery. And to give you an idea of battery life, The 1400 milliamp battery is good for about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and the 3000 milliamp battery more than doubles that, so you should be able to get 4.5 hours of shooting on one battery. That's frankly phenomenal. No complaints there, but I will complain about where the record button is. Putting the record button right there, right next to the battery, especially if I go to the bigger battery, kind of annoying. Don't love that location, but again, I can live with it. If we look at the top of the camera, we'll see that you have pretty much standard toggle for the wide angle and telephoto. It's par for the course in terms of responsiveness. I prefer a real switch as composed to the switch type toggle, but it's pretty. I don't think you're going to find anything else in this price range of camera. In this price range, I'm talking about a $400 price range, and certainly nothing below. You're not going to find anything different that's anything cheaper than that. So again, we can live. Below the toggle, you'll see there's the snapshot button. That's just a click and take a still shot. You can take stills while you're shooting video, or also just put it into the still mode. I do not recommend this camera for those thinking that you can just double up and leave the point and shoot pocket camera home. Not going to happen. This camera only has a native resolution of 1.5 megapixels, and frankly that's fine for shooting HD video, but for still pictures, I mean, it's fine. I guess you can get a picture up to 1920 by 1080, but you're not getting above that, which means you can use the picture in a photo frame, you can use it on your computer, you can email it to your friends, but in terms of making prints, skip it. Another thing I'm not too crazy about on the camera is the lens cap. I mean, I prefer a mechanical lens cap. This was a $400 camera. JVC, come on, you guys could do better than that. At least put a strap, at least put a string on it and attach it to the camera so I don't lose it. I know I'm going to lose this. I should probably just call JVC and order them now, but it is what it is. Looking at the front, you'll also see, I guess you have a light motion sensor, and you have the two condensers for the microphones. I like where they put the microphones. A lot of cameras put it on top, or they'll put it in the LCD screen. I never really liked the LCD screen mounting for the microphone condensers, because when I want to vlog and I want to turn my camera around, well, guess what? The speakers are pointing away from me. If I'm speaking, it's not going to pick it up. So good job, JVC, putting the condensers below the lens. And also below the lens reduces the likelihood that I put my finger there and cover up the condenser and block the sound. So that was some good thinking. Another thing I love, and probably the thing I like almost as much as the video, is the two slots for the memory. Now, these cameras still charge a major premium for internal memory, and frankly, you don't need it. For this, you'll pay an extra $100 for 16 gigabytes of internal memory. Why? I can go out and buy a 16 gigabyte SDHC card for $20. So why on earth would I want to pay $100 to have an internal? Plus, if I have it in the memory internal, I got to connect a line between the camera and the computer to offload the video. So this is the easiest thing on earth. I take my card out, stick it into the computer, and boom, I'm done. My videos are transferred. Having the two slots, well, that's just fantastic, because it means that I can just go out and buy two 16 gigabyte cards, stick them into the machine. I got 32 gigabytes. It's plenty of hours of footage, and I'm good to go. But I'm fancy. See, there goes the cap. Tells you what I think about this cap. I went out and bought myself two 32 gigabyte SDHC cards. This will be a 64 gigabytes of footage. I can shoot for hours and hours with no problem, not worrying about running out of memory or space, and I am good to go. Turning on the camera, well, I don't know if you heard the little chime before, but here's how you turn the camera on. Done, and we're shooting, we're recording. Frankly, the boot up time is almost instantaneous. It takes about 3 seconds from a cold start to totally on. That's pretty awesome. No complaints there. Also, in addition to having the zoom and the record buttons built on hard fastened to the camera, you also have digital versions of it which are on the screen. These are capacitive touch spots on the rim of the LCD display. If I press that, I'm recording. Press it again, I stop recording. For zoom, I touch what they call the laser slide on the side, and now I'm zooming in, now I'm going wide. Sorry, this is to turn on and off the stabilization, but it works pretty well. I'm not a big fan of the capacitive laser touch. I'd rather see a touch screen used or a joystick. I just think it's easier to manipulate, but you know, it works. You just got to get used to it. Manual features on this are pretty great. You can adjust the white balance on it with no problem. But for the most part, you're buying this because you are not going to be an expert that wants to control every single feature. You really want to use this in automatic mode, and for that it does a pretty darn good job. You can also turn, if you turn the side and you look here, we've got an on and off button, which also serves as an info button, which tells you the amount of memory that's left on your card, and also allows you to adjust the screen resolution. Well, actually, I checked that. It doesn't allow you to adjust the screen resolution, but what it does do is it allows you to adjust quality. The resolution's always in 1080p at 60 frames per second, but the difference is the megabits per second that it's writing at. It will go up to the maximum that the AVC HD format will allow, which is 24 megabits per second, all the way down to 4 megabits per second on the EP level, and in between it's 4, 7, 14, and 24. Frankly, the 7 and the 14 work just great. I don't see a reason to mess around with the highest or the lowest, because I don't really see an appreciable difference in quality between the highest and the lowest. Just isn't all that great. So unless you're really running out of space in your card, I would leave it at one of the middle settings, but that, again, that's personal preference. Let's say switch. This just tells you how much time is left on your battery. So telling me that I have 70 minutes left. So I mean, I've been messing around with this camera a little bit since it's new, but again, you get over 2 hours of battery life on a 1400 milliamp battery. Nothing to complain about there. So the rest of the buttons, you have an upload button, which will allow you to connect the camera to your computer and automatically upload your files to YouTube. But to use the YouTube automatic upload feature, you have to press upload before you film. That's sort of annoying. I think it saves it to a different format so that it's more YouTube friendly, but I think that most people have software on their computer that allow you to easily upload files to YouTube anyway, so it's a minor convenience. Above that, we have a button to toggle back and forth between still shots and video. Don't see myself using it that much. And above that, we have a play, start, stop button. We have analog, audio, AV out with sound, and then you also have a component with a proprietary input. And it comes with the component cables, and then you have a mini HDMI, which is pretty standard for the course these days. On the bottom of the camera, you have the switch to allow you to take the battery off, and then of course you have your mounts for your monopod and tripod. All in all, I have to say I'm very impressed with this camera. I think the footage is great. I have test footage out there. I suggest you take a look at it, and for $125 refurbished or $200 new, I just don't see how you can go wrong. I've had the Sony Bloggy Touch. I played with flips. I played with Kodaks, with the Play Sports and the ZI-8s, and frankly, I mean, I think this is just the bargain of the bargain to have at the moment for video cameras. So if you're in the market and you want something that shoots really good quality and you don't necessarily need something that you can fit in your pocket, this is the way to go. So everybody have a great weekend, and I'm glad I can bring this to you.